Upston.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's great to be able to speak on any bill that improves education, and this is another one that this national-led government is bringing into the House. And the point I want to make in my opening, Mr. Speaker, is that this provides valuable and common-sense changes to back up the massive investment this government is putting into education. And if you listen to that last speaker from the opposition, anyone listening might think that this government was cutting spending in education. Well, I want to put on the record $12 billion, the largest spend in education ever. $12 billion, sir. $12 billion that this government is investing in education because we know how critical it is for our future. So there's a number of changes, 5 broad areas that this bill addresses, but I actually just want to focus on 2 today. I want to focus on the changes in the limited attendance centres and also on the enrolment changes, because that, Mr. Speaker, was actually a members' bill I've had in the ballot for months, and I'm delighted it was picked up as part of this government bill. So looking first at the early childhood changes, just reminding the House that this government is putting an extra $107 million this year alone, to increase participation rates. But this particular bill, this particular change, is looking, Mr. Speaker, and we need to get this in context. This is when mum or dad goes to a shopping mall or goes to a swimming pool or a gym for a short period of time, less than 2 hours, wants to drop their child or children off in a supervised area to be looked after, to be cared for. I don't expect when I go to a gym and drop my children off that they're going to be taught how to read theses on whatever the Labor opposition think they're going to learn in a short period of time while their parents are at the gym. So this is about common sense. It's about removing PC nonsense and bureaucracy out of the system so the education system can focus on lifting achievement, not dotting I's and ticking off whether or not a swimming pool creche is licensed or not. It's just outrageous. So that's where the focus is. The focus is on bringing some sense rather than nonsense into the system. So just reminding you, this is a casual basis. The child's dropped off for less than 2 hours. Shopping mall, swimming pool, gym. Now, I know as a parent that that service is really important. It's very valuable, and we want to make sure that they're able to get access to it. The parent's never far away. They're within proximity. If you look at the bill, it's in here, less than 2 hours. The parent or caregiver is in close proximity and can easily attend if they need to. And we're also talking about churches. And one of the impacts of the 2006 changes is that some of these facilities were forced to close. How was that good for parents? How was that good for choice? And you said before, Mr. Mallard, you said before, twice, 2 days in a row, that member has talked about mistakes they have admitted to and they have made. So I'm thrilled, Mr. Speaker, that they are supporting us today in taking this piece of legislation to the Select Committee. There were petitions up and down the country. There was absolute outrage when this change was made. So we're just reversing it and bringing some common sense into it. But, Mr. Speaker, I do want to come to the school enrolment scheme priorities because this, Mr. Speaker, as I said before, was a members' bill I had in the ballot, specifically making changes that improve parents' choice. And I want to say a couple of things about it. We're talking about out-of-zone students and giving them a chance at getting into a school they would otherwise not have any hope of getting into. And I specifically want to talk about the extension so that children of board members of a school have priority just like teachers do, which it makes sense. There's a connection for the board, there's a connection for the teacher. It makes sense for their children to get a priority to attend that school. So I also want to talk about the children of former students. If you look about former students and their children, they have a strong connection, a historical connection to the school, and therefore they should get a priority. And if you look, there's been some discussions today about it being important that children go to school in their local areas. Well, Mr. Speaker, sometimes there is a challenge if there are no single-sex schools in your area and you want your child to go to a single-sex school. then there is very little choice. So there'll be some in this House, and there'll be some, Mr Speaker, listening today who don't believe we've gone anywhere near wide enough on this particular issue. But this is a step. This is a step for parents. I'm on the side of parents and making sure they have some choices. So what this does is gives priority to the children of former students and also to the children of current board members, as well as the existing priority, which is on the children of teachers of the school. So those are two important changes, Mr Speaker. I'm going to close as I started, just reminding the House that this government, education is a top priority. It is also for me personally. $12 billion is our investment, highest investment ever. And so I'm really pleased that this is being supported around the House, and this is about common sense. It's about getting value for what we do. It's about lifting achievement so New Zealand does better. Thank you, Mr Speaker.